helping with the presentation and things of that nature.
And I'm Dakota Felder. I was the designer of the team as well as the web developer.
And our community partner is Joel Gordon from the Innovation Hub in Arkansas. And what is CARL? CARL stands for the Challenge Arkansas Robotic Leagues. And the objective is to make robots similar to baseball. I mean, baseball sounds kind of intimidating at first because there's major leagues, minor leagues, high school leagues, college leagues, and everything. But think about it. All you need to really play baseball is a ball and a bat. You don't even need a base. So it's relatively simple. So the whole point of CARLbot is to try to provide like an easy entry point to robotics to students for less than $100. And it should be accessible for all. It should be something that kids can get together on the weekend and say, hey, let's go play with our robots. And it shouldn't be a daunting task that requires years of study. So for our challenge,
We'd rather not tell you our challenge, we would rather show you our challenge. So I wanted to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Jeremy. Jeremy, y'all can give it up for Jeremy. Jeremy's a good guy. He's an average guy, 22 years old, about to graduate high school. College, sorry. I thought high school, But he loves spending time with friends, playing sports. He loves to be connected with his friends. He loves getting on social media, like Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat. And so he gets on Snapchat one day, and what does he see? He sees one of his friends post a little story. And he's thinking to himself, how in the world did that girl build that CARLbot? Like, what even is a CARLbot? So he gets on his handy-dandy MacBook, and he looks up, what is CARLbot? How in the world did she, that has no technology background or anything of that nature, how did she build it? And so what did he find?
Yeah, I'm going to derail the narrative just a bit and take you through the website we built for CARLbot. Now, this is just a simple web page I threw together over the weekend for it, and it's just hosted on my own web domain. But this is like a product. This is something we could give to Joel. If he was here, I'd give it to him, but sadly he couldn't make it to the presentation. But this is a little mascot, if you will, for the CARLbot program, where just made this, you can tell it looks a little wonky, a little silly. It's supposed to be friendly for kids or anyone to get into it. And also, your first robot is not supposed to be perfect, right? You're supposed to have fun with it, make it silly. But throughout this, you've got the important bits of it, where the CARLbot, it only requires 4 basic components, and you can get all of these for exactly $50. That may not include shipping, but it's pretty close. So we have the Arduino Uno here, which is the microcontroller that the whole thing is based off of. This is like the brains of it and everything. And you got your servo motor, which gives us movement, the breadboard and wires, which let you connect everything, get everything all expandable in the battery pack. And all this stuff, these are just 4 things. All you have to do is get these 4 things by, put them together, and with like a tweet's worth of code, you can have your own robot running in circles. And yeah, so this is what you would see if you were to Google CARL.
Yes. So the challenge, as we talked to Joel, who was our community project manager, as we talked to him, the problem wasn't that it was hard to make robots. It was that people didn't have the information needed to make a robot. And so Jeremy over here, he finds this website, and he's like, it cannot be this easy. There is no way. So he orders a box of supplies with the Arduino and all of the power cords and everything he needs, and he builds a robot.
and this one isn't made by Jeremy, obviously. He's still working on that. But this one was made by Shiori, and right there.
Right.
And the you, she's an art or photography major, and she has no prior experience with robotics, and she made this from this afternoon.
Took them out.
Yes. And then what it does, it's really simple. You just turn it on, and it just walks forward for a little bit. And then it stops. And that's all it does, but that's a great entry point for robotics. And do you want to do close up?
Yes. I will pass it to them. So Jeremy gets very excited that he just built his first Carlbot. His first original, it's his. And he put even a little pink bow on it to customize it. And so what does he do? He does exactly what she did. And he goes to the Facebook page that we have set up. And he wants to post this video of him making this Carlbot. Oh, never mind. He's going to not go to the Facebook page yet. He's going to go to the forums. And he's going to post the video of him. So we created this forum that people can come and they can post their projects. So if they wanted to make a little bit more advanced Carlbot, they could post those projects onto the forums. And people like Jeremy, who don't really know what to do with all these Arduinos and stuff like that, they can go to these forums and find projects and a material list and what the ingredients and instructions they need to do it. So thank you, Jeremy, for coming up.
Yeah. All right. So what our community partner Joel needed was an online presence. He already has established some stuff, but none of it's online, none of it's easy for people to find. So what we did is we created an online presence, we created a community in order for him to get everything started. Now with the community, you can connect with one another and you realize that you're not the only one that's interested in robots. So what's the future direction that we're going to take with the community? Obviously, there's going to be physical events that he already hosts. We're going to try to increase those by including schools. Homeschool is also an option, and adults who are interested can also have different kinds of events. One of the ones that Joel is hosting is beer, brats, and bots. You go eat hot dogs, drink beer, and build robots to fight. It's pretty cool. Yep. Yeah. And then what we're also going to do on the website is one of the things is we're going to try to have monthly challenges. They're going to have different skill levels, easy, intermediate, and expert. Easy is going to be as easy as let's make the robot turn around like 6 times in a row, or climb a stair or something like that. It's going to be it should be somewhat challenging, but also should be accessible for everybody with a basic kit. Intermediate, you're going to start branching out a little bit. You can explore with different sensors. For example, one idea is you could build a thermometer with the robot. You can sense what temperature it is and then have a little LED that you could buy for like $5, maybe at 10 at like Radio Shack, but you could have it display the temperature every day for you. And you also have the expert challenges, which are going to be challenges that are much more difficult. Perhaps something like an automatic cat litter scooper. You don't want to do that every day? No problem. You have your robot do it for you. You can build it. And the whole point is to have people share these projects online. And there's 3 things that he wanted to do, which is inspire, provide information, and application. So what we're going to do is we're going to have people try to post ideas. And these ideas are going to be what they think would be a good idea for a robot. Another thing is materials, and that'll provide information to what they build a robot with, or what a specific robot would need to actually be built. And the final is the completion. So we have the information, we have the idea, we actually have to execute it. We want people to actually post their robots, post videos of it working, and share it with the community. So that way, like I said, we can reconnect with the community. We can try to put out physical newsletters. And what we will do is we'll try to have highlight projects. We could sell that for potentially $10, and hopefully all the money that people spend on these nice little pamphlets that highlight how to do the robots can go back into the community and help maybe underprivileged who can't even afford the basic robots. They can get started on the project. We can try to hand out free robots, and once they get along and be able to develop robots, they'll help mentor more and more people. And it's going to be a continuous loop that just keeps this community going stronger and stronger. And our whole point is to just have it be really easy for anybody, any skill level, to join. Okay, that's it.
So does anybody have questions for the group?
How do you determine the different levels? I like your metaphor about baseball. I didn't see it carried through very much, but it sounded good at the end. But how do you determine if you're a beginner and the intermediate level? Is there a who makes that decision? And secondly, who owns this?
That's actually a neat bit, and one of the cool things about CarlBot is that he's an open source robot, right? So you can, all you have to do to build a CarlBot is just buy these materials on your own from wherever. So there's no vendor, and this isn't a kit you buy for someone. You can go out, like there are recommended things for people who don't know where to start, but these are just what you go out and you can build it on your own under this CarlBot.
In the presentation, you had levels like beginner. I think there are 3 levels.
Yeah, beginner, intermediate.
Yeah, and
So beginner is obviously,
self-define yourself as a...
yes, it's pretty much self-defined because we won't be able to go in and say, okay, you get like an intermediate sticker. We would like to do that maybe at some point, but the whole point is to have the community help chip in. And the beginner is going to be anything that's entry level. You could potentially just start, get a robot, try to do it within days. Intermediate is somewhat like if you do 10 beginner projects.
So you self-define yourself.
Yes, you're self-defined. An expert, we're going to try to put guidelines to kind of encourage people to challenge themselves, but it has to be self-defined for now. But eventually, Joel's ideas, one of his ideas is to get schools involved and perhaps form leagues within the schools so we could have...
Competition would be a good candidate.
Yes, so we could have high schools against each other. The problem is there's some competitions already going on, but it costs, he mentioned that yesterday, it costs $5,000 for the starting kit and $5,000 to enter a regional competition. And I think the global one is probably like $20,000, so that's not feasible really for every everyday person.
Could you clarify your objective?
Our objective is just to try to get the idea out there, try to let people know, break down the barrier that the robot is something that's hard, showcase that the robot is not hard, we can do it in one day, and you can get started and pretty much try to sustain interest in it over.
How do you see the community being managed going forward, right? How do you cultivate the community?
So it's a self-sustaining community. As you see the loop with Jeremy, it loops around. So he sees one of his friends build a CarlBot, and so then it loops, and he builds his own CarlBot and posts it onto a forum or a Facebook group. And eventually, we want our website to be that Facebook group where people can go online and post their videos and instructionals. And so honestly, it's a self-sustaining rotation of things, of people, challenging themselves with the challenges, maybe even just posting those challenges and things of that nature. So.
And one thing we wanted to try to do is on the website, we're trying to have people write out instructions as clear as they can. So what kind of software or what kind of software they use, what kind of hardware they use. And in theory, anybody with the software, anybody with the hardware, they'll be able to recreate any bot they see on the forum. And that's kind of how you kind of try to become better, is to just keep building what other people have built. And then you're like, maybe I need my robot to turn right instead of turn left. And you could try to experiment some small changes, and eventually the idea is you'll be able to have your own ideas and realize them by yourself.
So if at the end of 3 years, this thing were wildly successful, what would it look like?
Like this, the whole nature of Carlbot is its open source nature, right? So there's not going to be anyone like profiting off this or anything. The whole idea being that more people will be able to build robots and get into robotics like on the cheap, right? So it'll be accessible to almost anyone. And so in 3 years, if lots of people start building under like the Carl like name, and that's all it is. Carl's just a name for like taking away the fear from building a robot. And the idea being, of course, that people would have a place to come to, like on like forum, Facebook page, or group, so somewhere to grow before.
Hopefully it would be integrated with libraries or other local community things that aren't being used properly or not being used enough. And instead of saying, hey, let's just play Xbox at home this weekend, we could say, hey, let's go to the library and build a bot. And that would be a great change.
One thing that Joel really desires, and Alex hit on it a little bit, is that he wants these leagues. And so if it is wildly successful in 3 years, he wants to generate, so UCA plays Hendrix, and they do a robotics thing. And then for homeschoolers, you have kind of a robotics meetup at somebody's house, and they come over and you build these Carlbots and you fight them. And then also, what Alex was saying about the beers dropping bots event, so different things of that nature. And so that in the long run is what Joel's really looking for, is these, again, it's a robotics league, and so, but it's getting that information out.
Do you think that was clear in your presentation?
Well, this is not the issue we were solving. The issue we were solving was that people have no idea how easy it is to build robots. And so the issue is that there's a disconnect between computer science and people. Joel taught me in 5 minutes how to program a robot to go front and back. And so, and I am not computer savvy or anything of that nature. And so this was not the issue we were trying to solve. The issue we were trying to solve was that that people do not have this information of how easy it really is, because there's all this jargon within computer science. It intimidates me sometimes. So
this was phase one then, or step one?
Yes, this was the prototype for Joel, and we are actually going to give it to Joel to show him and stuff of that nature. So,
and the rest is hopefully step 2, step 3, step 4, and eventually it'll just be everybody's just going to bust out their own robots.
sorry about that.
Well, if you really want, I guess I could cut
So with this group's presentation, I had a strong bunch of messages coming in from Joel Gordon, who, as they mentioned, wasn't able to be here. And Joel was reminding me, or dare I say demanding of me, to remind you that on the note of Carl, one of these contests that they're talking about will be coming up at the North Little Rock Maker Fair. The North Little Rock Mini Maker Fair is May 7th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can check out their website, makerfairnlr.com. And the reason why that's so relevant here, obviously, is because of this Carl team is working on this, and we'll see the community come together again on May 7th for an opportunity to spread the word. Most importantly, though,